These are all computer parts that I bought from eBay. I'm going to be using all these parts to build computers and flip them for profit. I thought you would like to see what I actually bought. I'll build a couple computers and then I'll go over what my estimated profit should be from this haul. I also sell a gaming computer locally for some pretty sweet profit, so stay tuned. I have no clue how many packages I have, but it reminds me of the Grinch when he's stuffing the sled with all those presents. Yo, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now, man. Let's go and count them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and this little guy marks package 36. I want to start by opening this specific package. As you can see, I wrote old on it. Don't do what I did. I bought this a long time ago. It is way past the window for eBay to help me if whatever's in this box is broken or it wasn't as advertised. So learn from my mistakes. Open stuff up when you get it, yo. Don't let it get to this. Now with all these packages, it's hard for me to remember exactly what I paid. So as I open it, I'll be displaying the prices on screen. And I want you to respond in real life, cop or drop for every deal. And then by the end of it, I want you to leave one comment down below, letting me know what your favorite deal was out of this whole haul. Little AMD stock cooler, little power supply, 600 watts. I actually forgot what this whole deal was, but it appears to be a combo. IO shield and little SATA data cables. And then to finish off the combo, looks like I have an MSI B550A Pro motherboard and 32 gigabytes of RAM at 3200 megahertz. So pretty solid start to this haul, as long as this all works, because remember, this was bought a long time ago. So if it's broken, I'm SOL. A little guy. Looks like we have some more RAM, DDR4. It is, I think, a 16 gigabyte kit, clocked at 3000 megahertz. Nice little black sticks, not bad. I see some more RAM. 1 stick, 2 stick, 3 stick, 4 stick. Foreskin. These are some pretty awesome looking RAM sticks. They're really silver. I want to say they're from V Color, and it's 32 gigabytes, 4 sticks at 3200 megahertz. So not bad. And they're kind of hefty. So if someone breaks in right now, just freaking chuck it right at them and watch them fall. That is some dirty bubble wrap, yo. It was in a brake box. So I think the guy changed his brakes and then packaged everything right after. Nice paper towels to protect my RAM. Sweet. And it is another 32 gigabyte kit. Well, it's actually 2 separate 16 gigabyte kits, all clocked at 3000 megahertz. So not bad. They will make use in some budget builds. Looks like we have a motherboard combo. Oh, I remember this. This actually might be DDR3, but I bought it because I thought it was 16 gigabytes, but then I checked the description and it said like 8 gigabytes, but the title said 16. But it appeared, oh no, they are DDR4, okay. I think they're 8 gigabyte sticks. I guess we'll see what happens when I get to testing these all. But I think it's like an i7 6700. Really budget, probably pair it with like a 1660 or something like that. I think I have my first GPU of this haul. Oh, right off the bat, I know what this is because the power connector's on the left. This is an RTX 5060 8 gigabyte model, so not bad. I want to say it was under $300, so this is definitely a cop. I'm kind of curious how long this will take me. I should have set a timer. but I'm thinking it's gonna take me a while. And then testing is gonna take even longer. We have a CPU, a Ryzen 5 5600X. Comes with a stock cooler, not that I'll use it. Wanna check the pins though, always worries me. But they look in pretty good condition. If I had to guess, this is another GPU. Or a 10-inch dildo. Nah, just joking. Nice little triple fan model from EVGA. It is an RTX 3070 Ti. It looks in a decent condition. It definitely has some dust buildup in the fans here, but really nice looking model, yo. RIP EVGA. Stock cooler, so there's probably a CPU in here, right? There we go. It is, oh, another Ryzen 5 5600X. And the pins check out, except this one, definitely just put some thermal paste on my thumb. Man, thermal paste, yo. You can't avoid it. It just gets everywhere. Newspaper. I wish it said like 1965 or something, but it's from 2026. Okay, I don't remember buying this, but there's no way this works, yo. Can you, I don't know if, I hope the cameras are picking this up, but I mean, there is so much like residue or something, and some of these pins, like contact points on the back of the motherboard, are all kind of look bent. But it has a Ryzen 7 3700X installed, and it's some Omen motherboard from a pre-built. But did I really buy this? Yo, it better have been like $10. Like, I don't know, I'd pay 60 for the CPU, but I don't remember buying this. One single stick of RAM. Okay, it is DDR5. 16 gigabyte stick at 6,000 megahertz with some RGB. It was probably around $110 with shipping and tax. I don't know if I'm halfway through the packages yet, but so far, I'm happy with the parts. All right, this has got to be a GPU. Feels pretty hefty too. Or maybe it's the mile worth of bubble wrap they used. Jeez Louise. Oh man. I won't be here till Christmas. At least it should be safe, right? Oh, another EVGA model. What is it? A 3080? Ooh-wee. Let's go. Cleaner than that 3070 Ti. Actually, it has a little bit of dust, but not as much dust as that last one. 3080s will always hold a place in my heart because it was one of the first high-end GPUs that I ever bought for myself. Oh, I hate this type of styrofoam, yo. It's gonna get little white pieces all over. Looks like we have two motherboard combos. I remember this deal now. They are the exact same combos. Nice little IO shield. We have a B550 Asus motherboard, AMD stock cooler, and I want to say 16 gigabytes of RAM at 3000 megahertz. CPU, it is some Ryzen 5, but the price was pretty decent for two combos. All I need is storage and a GPU and basically a full computer. Another motherboard. Well, I took a gamble on this and I lost. In the picture, it had a CPU in the socket, and I don't know, I guess I was being so cocky. I was like, oh, dude, it's gonna be included. Yeah, this guy's a bozo. So this was kind of an overpay. Yeah, and look at that tape job. Oh my goodness. I at least want to check the pins on the motherboard. Maybe they're bent and I can just return it. Yo, yo, yo. Where's my screwdriver? Okay, so no CPU, but I just peeped under this SSD cover. Well, M.2 heatsink. Come on, unscrew, buddy. I'm pretty sure there's a M.2 under here. Maybe I won't return it. Come on. Please be a 1 terabyte. Okay, we have an SSD, yo. Team group. Okay, where's the capacity? Where's the capacity? My eyes are not working. I see 1T. So I'm assuming 1 terabyte. Okay, this was worth it. This was worth it. As long as the motherboard actually works. Another GPU, little 2-fan model. Oh, this is another RTX 5060, 8 gigabyte version once again. Has the power connector on the left, but the 5060 is it's not like the best value card, but for flipping PCs, people love to get the newest generation on the budget cards, and that's what this is. They have the RTX 5050, but that thing's actually like little Wi-Fi antenna. So this is probably a motherboard. Okay, we have a whole combo, yo. A whole combo. A CPU with some thermal paste on it. A single stick of RAM. It is 16 gigabytes. Ooh, at 6,400 mega transfers. And a 1 terabyte WD Green SSD. I'm gonna wipe that thermal paste off. We're using some of that 2026 newspaper. What do we got? Ryzen 5 8400F. So it's a budget CPU, but should have been a decent price. Geez, how many combos did I buy, yo? I was just like going insane or what? A320M motherboard, so pretty basic. The RAM, it is, okay, it's a 16 gigabyte kit at 2666, so not ideal. But I want to say it was around $100, so I mean, not bad. I think the CPU was trash though, so my plan was to resell it. I really don't know why I buy some of the parts I buy, but I just buy them and they get here, you know, that's how it works. It's probably one of the heavier packages that I've opened so far, so it should be pretty juicy. 1, 2, and 3 RTX 3070s. Only gonna open one out of the box, but it seems like they should be in good condition if they still have the original packaging. And by the looks of this little power connector, they were probably used for mining, but geez Louise, man, this thing is clean. So this is a B760 motherboard, supports 12th, 13th gen, and 14th gen CPUs, which is perfect because I have a 12600KF that has been needing a motherboard. Oh no. Oh, those pins do not look good. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I'll get some closer shots later on. Oh, it looks like a bunch of bent pins that have been bent back straight. You know, like I can see how the light hits it and it looks different. Hopefully this works. Oh, I remember this. It's a whole computer. Nothing crazy, as you can see, it's a pretty basic HP pre-built, but inside is what matters. I want to say it's a 1660 Super and probably 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 512 gigabyte SSD if I remember correctly. But my plan is to literally just clean it up, make sure it works, and relist it for like a 20% margin. So easy flips. Ooh, packing peanuts. Let's keep them in the box though. There we go. Little GPU. Looks like another 5060. Ooh, never mind. This is a 4060 Ti with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Not an insane price. I think actually my plan was just to sell this because right now it's around like 500 bucks since it has the 16 gigabytes of VRAM and people are VRAM hungry, so. Okay, so I just had that 4060 Ti. Now we have a 5060 Ti with another 16 gigabyte, bro. And funny enough, it's actually another PNY model. Ooh, listen. This is a cop. Don't arrest me. Looks like a Founders Edition box, no? It is, bro. I definitely did not buy a Founders Edition GPU though. It is a Founders Edition. I have a problem because I don't remember, dude. Oh yes, man. I love the Founders Edition. Look how clean that is, man. My very first Founders, ooh, it has a pretty bad cut on the backplate though, but my very first Founders Edition was actually a 3060 Ti, and I camped outside of Best Buy for it. It was a pretty awesome experience. And then I camped out for the 3080 Founders Edition, and yeah, it was pretty nice, pretty awesome experience. Okay, another combo. Wow, that motherboard is beefy, dude. Looks awesome. Has like reinforced RAM slots, and it's only an X4, dude. And I see another bonus SSD. I want to say this listing did not include it. If you guys are ever selling your motherboards, man, gotta check those little M.2 heat sinks. There is an SSD, Crucial P1. With, I see 500p, so I'm thinking it's a 500 gigabyte. But either way, I'm happy with that. This is one of the last bigger packages I have, and I'm kind of worried because I bought 5 motherboard combos, and they're definitely not gonna fit in any of these smaller packages. But the package is marked as delivered, so did I get hosed? Did I get scammed? Who knows? Another Founders Edition box? Okay, there's no way I bought 2 Founders Edition GPUs and don't remember. Yeah, okay. They just threw it in that box. Little RTX card. I don't see any model sticker anywhere. By the looks of it though, it's probably a 3060 Ti. Now this is the last big package, and yeah, there's no way 5 motherboard combos are in here. So I'm gonna have to get my money back on that or see where the package is at. B450 motherboard with a Ryzen 5 1600. It is not the AF version, but 6 cores nonetheless. Also came with some RAM, Corsair Vengeance. Ooh, it's a 16 gigabytes at 3600 megahertz. I doubt the 1600 can run it at that, but pretty good speed. Little SATA SSD, 480 gigabytes. This must be the IO shield, little stock cooler, and this has got to be a GPU. Yep, little 1650. This was all one purchase, basically a whole computer, budget computer, you know, 1080p, 60 FPS, low settings, especially with this 4 gigabyte GPU, but people need budget computers, you know, so I'm the man. This seller had it in an anti-static bag, but then inside a plastic bag, which probably produces static. What? Could be wrong, you know. We have another PNY GPU. Ooh, another 5060 Ti. 16 gigabyte version once again. Little brackets a bit bent out of shape, but you know, it's pretty easy to bend back straight. But as long as this works, I will be happy. This package is dense. It's just RAM, but why does it feel so heavy, yo? What the? Okay, I do remember this. This is one of my most recent purchases. It is 64 gigabytes, 2 separate 32 gigabyte kits, clocked at 3600 megahertz. The seller had it at a little bit of a discount because he was claiming the RGB doesn't work, but I noticed it was Corsair. So I was thinking it's probably just disabled in Corsair IQ. And if that's the case, then W. If not, then it's still 32 or 64 gigabytes of RAM for a pretty good price. 1, 2, 3, and 4 CPUs. These are all Ryzen 5 5600X CPUs. Now, actually, the seller had 8 of them available for a pretty good price, but I was kind of sketched out. I thought I was gonna get scammed, so I only bought 4. I should have bought them all because, you know, they arrived. So yeah, pretty good haul. I'm stocked on CPUs now, which is, it's good to have parts, you know, instead of needing parts, it's better to have them. Some more RAM, Corsair Vengeance LPX kit. It is 16 2x8 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz, so not bad. As long as it was around $50, then I'm happy. Jeez. All that bubble wrap for some RAM. I mean, it's better than nothing, so I guess I'll shut up, stop complaining. Ooh, this is 4 sticks, baby. Okay, 2133 though. That's like a pretty bad speed. What are these ones? Also 21, okay, so we have 32 gigabytes of RAM at 2133 megahertz. So definitely not ideal. But it should have been a good price, so. Another CPU. Is this? Oh my goodness, dude. Somebody needs to stop me from buying parts. Another Ryzen 5 5600X. I don't even think it's been used, to be honest. I don't see any scratches on the surface, so that's nice. More RAM. Yeah, 16 gigabytes at 3200 megahertz. This is my second XPG Ganix Dio of this whole haul. Oh my goodness, another CPU. Ryzen 7 3700X this time. Okay. Pins look good. I might actually sell some of these CPUs just by themselves because, man, I have a lot. If I had to guess, another CPU. This thing is probably like a few ounces. Oh, never mind. A RAM. 2 2 RAMs. Okay. There's some basic green sticks, no heat sinks, 8 gigabytes. Oh, 3200 megahertz. I want to say this, they call it like B die or something like that. Or, you know, I don't even know, but it doesn't have to run at XMP. Oh, they call it like JDEC or something, but it's just running at 3200 out of the box. So these are actually pretty solid sticks. I saved the tiniest package for last. And it's another CPU, quite possibly the worst packaged of all. You're kidding me, yo. No way, dude. Okay, let's, I don't know how, but I'm not seeing any bent pins. This must have been delivered by the hand of God. Yeah, I can't see any right now. We'll see when I try to put it in a motherboard. But it is another Ryzen 5 5600X. I think that's like 8 Ryzen 5s this haul. Here's the aftermath. There's a lot here. It doesn't look like it, but that's a big mess. And then here's a quick overview of everything I have. It filled up these inventory shelves. Look at all those CPUs, RAM, GPUs. Oh yeah, baby. Now, out of all these deals, I would say this was my favorite right here, that B650 motherboard that I thought was going to come with a CPU, but instead it came with a 1 terabyte SSD. So I took a gamble, lost, but then I kind of won a little bit in the gamble. So that's always fun. But let me know your favorite deal down below. And yeah, let's get to building some gaming computers with all these parts. Whoa, slow down, buddy. I tested all of the parts first. Won't bore you with that, but I used OCCT and then MemTest 86. Overall, not a bad haul. The only broken parts was this 32 gigabyte kit of RAM. And then actually that B650 motherboard didn't post, but the 1 terabyte SSD worked. I'm gonna try to return the RAM kit, but I won't worry about the motherboard. I technically paid for the SSD. Installed one of the worst softwares, but look at that. The RGB is working. I had a feeling that was it. I'm glad it worked out. Now that adds a little more value to that RAM. Oh, the boring but very crucial part is done. Now for the fun part. I'm going to start by grabbing that ASRock B760 motherboard, and I didn't notice this when I unboxed it, but it's actually a DDR5 board. Not ideal, but it'll work out. Grabbing the 1 stick of DDR5 that I unboxed. It'll make a pretty good combo with this i5 12600KF, and then this 1 terabyte SSD. If you have ever thought to yourself, oh, I want to try flipping computers, don't do what I do. Currently, I have been buying more parts than I'm actually selling computers. It's a bit risky to do that, but where's the fun if you're not taking any risk? For the cooler, going with this ID cooling right here in black with ARGB. And then the GPU, I'm going with one of the 2 RTX 5060 Ti's with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. This will make a nice 1440p high settings build. And with the DDR5, I'm thinking like the profit is at least 250 bones. To power this build, I'm going with a Raid Max 650 watt 80 plus gold unit. Doing a quick test just to be safe. Okay, that's a good sign. Ramp up. There we go. There's the case. Going with the Okinos Aqua 3 in black. It's a solid case for the price, around $60. Comes with 3 ARGB fans, and I want it, yeah, a little hub as well to hook up one more ARGB product. Literally only has 1 extra spot, and these aren't daisy chainable. Going straight in with the motherboard, has a built-in IO shield, so I can't forget that. Oh wow, this is a tight fit. This is gonna look really nice. I love the compact builds, like ITX builds. Ooh. I still have to cable manage the build and make it look all pretty, but my main thing is I just want to get windows installed, and then I'll show you the finished build when it's camera ready. Well, here it is. I added an RGB cable for the motherboard, and I personally think the build turned out great and not bad for the amount of money that I spent on it. Let me know what you think of this computer. It is time to build another computer, starting with a case. This is a model I've never used. It was some cheapo one on Amazon. It's basically like every other knockoff case, little fish tank design, and it actually came with 3 included ARGB Infinity fans, which is pretty nice. It was around $50, I want to say. This thing's tiny, like it's micro ATX, but almost mini ITX. I'll grab the motherboard I want to use for this build and see if it even fits. Going to the ASRock B450M AC R2.0. Dude. Okay, we're gonna have to switch up the build plans. It's gonna be more of a budget build. I wanted to throw a 5060 in here, but this case is tiny, so I'm gonna have to use a completely different motherboard. Good old option from AliExpress. Yeah, that is gonna be a way better fit. Slotting into the socket, I'm going with a Ryzen 5 2600. Budget, 6 cores, 12 threads, will work, 1080p, 60 FPS, no problem. We'll go with these silver sticks of RAM. Those will look pretty nice. So this is 16 gigabytes at 3200 megahertz. Here's the cooler I'm going with. Same one as before, but in white this time. And here are the last 2 parts for the motherboard, 512 gigabyte M.2 and a little CMOS battery. SSD was bought on the second-hand market for a pretty good price, especially considering the going rate. I can't seem to find any more SSDs for good prices. When I'm out of what I have, I'm basically out. Now for this tiny, tiny case. And with this build, I am not doing a test boot because I don't really feel like it. I just want to build it and see if it turns on first try. Have to add some standoffs though. Would have been nice if this case had white cables for the front panel connectors, but I mean, can't really complain too much. Like I said, it was around 50 bones. The fact it comes with actual ARGB fans and they're daisy chainable is a plus. I'm also noticing right now, there is a Type-C port right there, but only a USB 3 connector, which is kind of nice, especially for the budget builds, because these motherboards don't have USB Type-C headers, so the port will at least still be functional. The power supply I'm going to be using is kind of overkill, but it's all I have on hand, and my plan was to originally use it with the 5060 that I wanted to use, but oh well. It's an all-white unit, the Apivia Prestige, 600 watts, 80 plus gold, and it's nice it has all-white connectors. Eliminates the need for cable extensions. Cable extensions are nice and all, but especially for a budget build like this, I'd rather not spend $10 to $20 on cables. And now for the final part, a single fan GPU. I've had this in my inventory for nearly 2 years. It was a very bad paint, well, not a super bad paint job. It just could have used another coat, but it's a 1650 that I custom spray painted white, and it'll look pretty good in this build. Here's the completed build. I already turned it on, everything, installed Windows. It works perfectly fine, but I actually did have to swap out this left fan here because it was flickering out of the box. So I just swapped it with another Infinity fan, but the build looks pretty good. It'll be a great 1080p, 60 FPS gaming PC. I'm selling this computer. The buyer should be here any minute, but it's a pretty sweet build. I custom spray painted the cooler and the GPU, and it's in the Thermaltake like Versa H1. Pretty solid looking build, if I have to say so myself. How you doing? Ezra? Nice to meet you. Thanks for meeting me today, man.
Thank you.
Here's the computer. Like I said, you'll be able to see it all powered on and everything. So is this gonna be your first computer?
Yeah, it's my first computer. I was just looking for something, you know, cheap and then just something I could just run a couple games.
Cheap and reliable, gets the job done, everything?
Yep.
Perfect. I don't know if I know it's your first computer, so you might not know too much about the specs, but this is everything as it's saying in the description. You have the i5-11400F, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabyte NVMe, and then the RTX 3060 Ti there.
Okay.
And also included is the power cord, a little USB and for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but I definitely recommend Ethernet.
Okay.
So do whatever you can to run Ethernet because it'll just make your experience way better, like online gaming and whatever else you plan to do. And this is a little remote just for the lights there. Blue, it's like a purple, pink kind of, green, red, like an orange, purple, white, and off if you don't really care for them. Have you any other questions for me?
Just about like, you know, because I heard there's a bunch of like cords and different things to plug in. I was wondering if
Yeah, so
plug in.
basically how you're seeing it now is how you'll want it to plug in when you get home. Those can be monitors, but always plug your monitors here for your graphics card because the CPU actually doesn't have integrated graphics, so you'll just get a black screen. And then keyboard, mouse, headphones, obviously the power cord, and then up top as well you have 2 more USB ports and a microphone and headphone jack. And then to take the glass off, there's a little tab right there. It just pops out like that. And those little push pins, just like that.
So here's your
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 40, 60, 85, 20, 40, 60, 86, 20, 40, 60, 87, 20, 40. Yeah, I had it at 775.
Okay.
Let me just double count this, make sure.
And that's not 775. I know it was like this. I can see if I can
81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
it's 7.
You know, man, I'll let it go for 750.
Oh, really?
You're in school, so I understand. Well, appreciate you meeting me today, man.
Appreciate you.
If you have any questions or anything pops up, feel free to message me and I'll always help you, okay?
Thank you so much.
Got the money in hand. Unintentionally got lowballed. I don't think he meant to, but I wasn't gonna trip over 25 bucks. I wanna say the profit is still around like 250, so I'll take that any day of the week. Now the question, how much should I make from this haul? I spent around $6,400 for all these parts, which is actually more than I thought I was going to spend. And for profits, 20% is the baseline, but I like to aim for 35% to obviously make a little bit more money. So calculating that, this haul should make me around $2,200. I could be wrong, never was really the best at math, and it's not an exact number because I have to put all these parts into computer builds like this one here. I don't make money really selling individual parts. Profits maybe like 10% on that. And I actually just launched my own website, so if you wanna buy a computer, then check it out with the links below. And in the future, I will also be selling some individual parts, but my main focus is the computers that I build. The first orders will also get this screwdriver kit included for free, which is great for working on electronics, has a bunch of little bits and everything. Definitely check it out with the links below or at elijahslab.shop. Anyways, that's it for me. Smash the like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.